Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for our college visit series. We're excited to have College of Mount St. Vincent with us today. And admissions counselor Tyler Margolis is going to be going over all of the wonderful programs and the exciting things they have going on their campus and all of that today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, April. Really appreciate the introduction. As April mentioned, my name is Tyler Margolis. I am an admissions counselor at the College of Mount St. Vincent in Riverdale, New York. Those of you who are unaware of Riverdale, it's actually in New York City, about 12 miles away from Midtown Manhattan, at the tippy top of Midtown or of New York City. So, one thing you could probably tell by looking at this picture is, we do have, while we are in New York City, we do have a much more traditional college environment. We do have trees, we have grass, we have traditional college buildings, which is something we're really proud of. But at the same time, you do have the heart of New York City, which you can see over in the distance, only 30 minutes away via bus or train or Uber. So, there's a lot of options, and like I said, while we are in New York City, we do offer a little bit of a unique perspective, compared to some of those other schools in the area. Yeah, today, I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview covering everything from majors, obviously, financial aid, scholarships, student activities, and everything in between. I know Ms. Corbin and Ms. Edwards, if you guys have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out in the middle of my presentation. And I'll make sure to share my contact information at the end, if any students have any questions. But I'll start off just a few quick fast facts. We were founded in 1847 by the Sisters of Charity. They're a charitable organization that's promoted, equity for a lot of the impoverished in New York City and in greater tri-state area. We're a 70-acre gated campus that overlooks the Hudson River. So, that picture that I just showed you before, it's a really scenic, really beautiful view. We are a total of 1,800 students, so we are relatively small. Around 1,500 of those students are undergraduate students. We do have another 300 that are graduate students, but we're really small, which allows us to really give a lot of personal attention to our students. That's a great thing. Class sizes are only around 20 students. With everything going on for coronavirus pandemic, it's actually been really flexible. With having classes outside, keeping those classes completely socially distant. Finals are going on now and we are off campus. So luckily no one's taking classes in 32-degree freezing weather. But, on top of that, because of our class size, we are able to be really small, really flexible, which has been really helpful for many of our students. On top of that, we have over 50 different academic programs, which I'll get into later in the presentation. And we also have 13 different dual degree programs as well, which I can also get into. So obviously a very important question just to start right off the bat is tuition. Now tuition is $39,500 and room and board is around $12,000. So, all in all, a tuition is around $51,000, a little over, but it's extremely rare. I'd say 99.9% of our students do not pay that full price. And the reason for that is all of our students do indeed qualify for merit-based scholarships. So merit-based scholarships are entirely based on your GPA. On top of that, students receive on average $8,000 from the federal government when they file their FAFSA as well. So I'm not sure how many seniors will be listening to this or juniors, but to both parties, I can't encourage enough the importance of submitting your FAFSA and all your financial aid documents as soon as possible. As I mentioned before, all of our students qualify for merit-based scholarships. So based on your GPA, students can earn as much as $27,500 in merit-based scholarships. On top of that, students qualify for resident scholarships and alumni grants as well. And we do have a variety of premier programs. And our premier programs and premier scholarships are some really great awards. One of them is our Seat in Service and Leadership Scholarship that is offered to a high achieving student that's actively involved in community service, as well as their ministry and other different types of religious organizations on campus or in their community rather. We also have our Font Hill Writing Award, which is offered to students that want to pursue a career in writing. That's also a full room and board scholarship. And then we have our Corazon C. Aquino Award offered to high achieving students of Filipino descent. Corazon C. Aquino actually graduated from the College of Mount St. Vincent a while back, and she's the first female president of the Philippines. So in her name, that's actually a full tuition scholarship. So in terms of scholarship and financially, we have a lot of fantastic opportunities. Obviously, college affordability is something that's a very hot topic and has been for years now. So we really do our best to be able to offer, as much aid and scholarship as possible. And if there's ever extenuating circumstances and you want to chat through that further, I'm happy to connect. I'm happy to connect students with financial aid counselors as well. But this is something that we're really proud of. Obviously, really important is academics. So some of our more popular academic programs are nursing, biology, business, psychology, and sociology. One thing to take note of, just because nursing is so popular, we do have direct admittance into our nursing program, so it's not like you'll have to reapply. If you do apply to our nursing major, the only caveat is you do need to maintain a GPA of 3.0 from your freshman and sophomore year in order to continue with the program. So like I said, there's no reapplication process, but staying in that nursing major is contingent on that 3.0 GPA. Something we're also really proud of is our honors program. Our honors program consists of the top 10% of the incoming freshman class. And for nursing, it's the top 5% of the incoming freshman class for nursing majors. I mentioned this before, but we also have 13 different joint degree programs. We have a number of different facilities on campus that students utilize outside of the classroom to further enhance their studies. So we have our Business Trading and Research Center that has an active stock floor. It has the active stock ticker going around campus. So that's something that a lot of our students take advantage of. We have our nursing simulation labs, which has, they have a number of different test dummies that simulate real life health experiences. We have 2 of them that simulate like the actual birthing process, which is pretty crazy and very lifelike, which is, it's breathtaking to see what technology really can do without having physical human beings sitting in the room. On top of that, we have a TV studio and radio station, a digital media lab, art studio, and we also have our research center for public policy. Here are just a few of our majors. So, we are a liberal arts school, so we do have over 70 plus majors. On top of that, so we do have pretty much everything, I'd say, aside from engineering right now. We are in the works of creating a joint degree STEM program, so that's something that we're further trying to build out, just because engineering is really popular. But on top of that, we do have a plethora of majors, whether that be accounting, biology, chemistry, communications, history, physical therapy, sociology, teaching. We really cover the gambit in terms of our academic programs. And I'll make sure to send a link to our academics page, where if you wanted to research a program a little bit more, you'll have that information at your fingertips. So I'll make sure to send all that after the presentation. And once again, any majors that anyone has any questions, I could obviously dive deeper into that. If you do reach out. Something else that we're really proud of is our Mount Pathway programs. I'm going to focus on both our Mount Access program and TRIO student support services. Our HEOP program is just for New York State students, so it won't be entirely relevant to you guys. But our Mount Access program is a mentoring program that's designed for students who demonstrate the potential and motivation to succeed in college, but may have some lower test scores. Their high school grades may be a little bit lower. but they show the initiative that they want to further promote their education after graduating high school. On top of that, we also have our TRIO student support services. That's a very similar program, but it's specifically designed for first generation low income students as well. So you'll get academic, personal support. Students that may have disabilities also, can get support through this program as well. And from both of these, it's really just to ease the transition coming from high school into college, a brand new environment. Maybe you're the first person from college and you're first person in your family that's attending college. So you're still unaware of some of the processes and different ongoings of everything, that entails a college experience. So we do want to make sure we're providing you with as much support as possible. Obviously, residential life is really important on our campus as well. We do have 5 different residency dorms on campus. We're actually building a 6th hall called Kino Hall that, God willing, will be open by spring of 2021, so very soon. Hopefully, we'll be ready for all you guys if you were stepping on campus next fall. Freshman students are assigned their housing the summer before their first semester, so usually you'll receive a notification about your rooming assignment. If you have a preference for a roommate, you can fill out a form as well. But all that goes on freshman or summer going into your freshman year. Safety and security is something of the utmost importance on our campus as well. We do have front desk from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. At all times in each dorm. We have licensed security on campus from midnight to 7 a.m. In order to gain entry on campus, you actually have to go through a security gate and a security guard. So, like I said, security is really important to us, especially with such a small campus. So, we do want our students feeling safe. And, we want to make sure that we're providing all those resources so students feel safe and have that peace of mind. Outside of the classroom, we have over 40 plus clubs and organizations. Here are just a few. We do have our Model UN. Great thing about Model UN is the actual UN is pretty much down the road in Midtown Manhattan. So they take a lot of trips down there as well. We have our Student Government Association, which actually implements policy that students live by on campus. So, if you want to have an active role in implementing policy on campus, Student Government Association is a great way to do that. We have our Mountain Times, which is actually our student newspaper. We have the Dolphin Dolls, which is a dance club. We have our finance club that's really active on campus. And we also have study abroad opportunities. So you can see here, we've sent students to Argentina, France, Ireland, Thailand, and pretty much all over the world. Students also can travel abroad to partake in community service. We've had students rebuild schools in Guatemala, Peru, Costa Rica, all over the world. So both our organizations and our community service study abroad opportunities are something that our students take advantage of on a day in and day out basis. So one thing that makes us very unique is the fact that, our internship opportunities and job opportunities are in New York City, so they would literally be in your backyard. Just to go through a few, students have interned for ABC, ESPN, Atlantic Records, some of the largest communications and media companies in the world. Students have interned for Warner Brothers, United Nations, the New York Stock Exchange, New York Presbyterian. So New York, it is financial capital of the world, media capital of the world. But on top of that, a lot of our medical students, whether they're focused in biology or nursing, they'll actually be able to work in a New York City hospital, which are some of the most well-renowned hospitals in the country. So they can get great hands-on experience there. So, like I said, outside of the classroom, there's just so much opportunity to not only get some really fun experience, but also some really useful real life experience as well. In your desired field. So there's so many different opportunities there. If you are unaware of what you want to do, once you graduate college or throughout college, we have so many of our different Mount Mentor programs that'll actually, through our Mount Mentor program, we'll set you up with a former alumni of the college that has real world experience and really be able to guide you through that career search process. On top of that, we have our Oxley Integrated Advising Program, who will help you not only make your schedule and create your academic path, but they'll also help you with things such as creating a resume and preparing for interviews and making sure you're as prepared as possible once you leave the College of Mount St. Vincent. Another activity that's extremely popular, sports. So any prospective athletes that may be viewing this, we are Division III. We are in the Skyline Conference. So the Skyline Conference participates in with a lot of other schools in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, just the greater tri-state area. You can see here, this is actually our basketball gym, which is called Peter J. Sharp Center. And then we also have a actual fitness center in Peter J. Sharp as well. This is Marillac Field, which actually practices right on the Hudson River. It's my favorite part on campus. I do love going down there and watching the soccer game. And it's a really beautiful part of campus, and I know our athletes really love it there. So if you are interested in athletics, feel free to reach out. We do have an admissions counselor that is not solely focused, but he is a specialty in working with athletes through the admissions process. So if that's something that you're interested in exploring more, feel free to reach out to me. Just a few things, campus life is something that we're really proud of, especially because we are such a tight-knit community. We have homecoming, FinFest, which is actually a festival where we usually hire a performer that actually comes on campus. And in the past, we've had cool acts such as like Wale, who's really popular, especially in the DMV area. But we have Senior Week, Founders Day. Around the neighborhood, it is quite residential, despite being in New York City. We have a number of different, pizza places, Dunkin' Donuts, Key Foods, delis, supermarkets, everything's literally right in your backyard. So, you don't really need to leave campus too much, in order to get essentials. But if you do, you're more than able to literally take a 5-minute walk and get groceries and a slice of pizza, whatever it may be. So I obviously saved the best for last, admissions. So, I am an admissions counselor. I'm someone that would be reviewing your applications. At this point right now, we are test optional. So the only things that are required from you when filling out your application are filling out either your Common App or your CMSV app. We do require the admissions essay, and we require your high school transcript as well. We are, like I said, we're test optional. So, if you're more than welcome to send your SAT or ACT score if you do believe it'll help improve your application. This could also be helpful when applying for a Premier Scholarship as well. But you are by no means required to send that, only if you feel like it'll improve your application. Just some quick metrics to go under. I'd say the average GPA of students that that get accepted into the Mount is around an 85 GPA or around a 3.2. You'll see two numbers here, recalculated and just your regular GPA. Your GPA, just your regular GPA, when we mention this, is your complete cumulative GPA. So that's all your classes, your elective classes, theater, art, whatever it may be. The recalculated GPA, which is what we look at when reviewing an application, are your core classes. So what we consider core classes are math, science, language, social science, what am I missing? And English, of course. If you take a religion class, that's something that we'll also take into account as well. But through those core classes, that's how we come up with your recalculated GPA. And on average, those students have around an 85. As I mentioned, we are test optional, so you don't need to send your SAT or ACT, but students that were accepted that did send their SAT or ACT scores averaged around a 1050 on the SAT and a 20 on the ACT. Some deadlines, some of these have already passed. The application is obviously already available. Your FAFSA is also available to be filed as well. We did just move past our November 15th early action deadline, but that's okay if you did miss that. You know, you do have, we're rolling admissions. So the sooner that you apply, the sooner that you'll actually receive an admissions decision. So you have up until March 1st to submit your application. On top of that, you know, if a student does apply for a Premier Scholarship, they'll receive a notification in their student portal, and they'll also see a link on their acceptance package giving you instructions on how to apply for a Premier Scholarship. If you are nominated for a Premier Scholarship, a lot of those require supplemental documents. So for our Font Hill Writing Award, usually you'll have to submit a writing sample. You know, documents like that will have to be submitted by February 15th. And then, you know, lastly, please be sure to submit your FAFSA. I recommend sooner rather than later, but, you know, if you do need to wait till the last minute, just do not submit it later than February 15th. And as I mentioned before, follow us on social media. We have a lot of great content. So just type in CMSV admissions on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We have a lot of great content on there, whether it's just a general overview of a major or learning how to file your FAFSA or learning more about financial aid. Just make sure to definitely look us up on CMSV admissions. And without further ado, I guess that's pretty much it for me. Not sure if you know, either Shannon or April had any questions, but I'm obviously glad to fill in any information gaps if there are any.
I think this was really helpful. Like, you know, like we were talking about earlier, just to have information about schools like yours that maybe we don't see typically come through our college fairs when we do have on-site college fairs and things like that. It's just really helpful, and in a lot of ways in the environment we're in right now, that's why we do benefit from it, to be able to get this type of access. You know, just to talk with somebody live, and we really appreciate it. It's a beautiful school with lots of opportunities for students, so I look forward to sharing it with our students and families, and a really neat location. So
yeah. Absolutely. And I'm sorry to cut you off, April.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, you know, I will send you all this information after, you know, we get offline. You could feel free to share that with, you know, obviously students, parents, whoever it may be. And, you know, if anyone has any questions or they wanted to set up a similar type of one-on-one type virtual call, I'm happy to do that as well. I know our professors are actually really helpful as well if a student wanted to speak to a biology professor or history professor. So that's something that we could absolutely arrange as well. But no, I really appreciate, you know, you guys giving me the opportunity. I really appreciate you, you know, blasting this out to your students. It's really helpful for us, especially in a territory a little bit farther away. And yeah, you know, we obviously look forward to, you know, working with you guys going forward. And yeah, you know, if you guys have any questions, just don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you. We definitely will be keeping in touch with you, and I'm sure we will be reaching out with questions in the future. And any of our students who are watching who have questions, they can reach out directly to you, correct?
Absolutely.
And I will be sharing that information with them along with this video, so they'll have all of your contact information available there. So thank you so much for joining us today. This has been really helpful.
Thank you both. Have a great holiday season and stay safe, okay?
Thank you. You too.